Mind over matter, overcompensating, overstatements, crookedness relating, a soul's churn in return, mental overstimulation, one word, riveting, it tethers my pilot, streams that are promised to make seeking less.
I just want to make sure it's my external mic and not my headphone mic.
No worries. Great. Marcus Higgs, it's great to have you on, man. It's so many things I wanted to kind of touch on. But first and foremost, I just want to welcome you to the platform. I just want to, just present what you do. You're a communication coach for parents, preteens, 10 to 14 years. But like I said, first and foremost, welcome to Poetry Journal podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing tickety boo, eh? I'm good. I'm good.
Positive.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you for sharing your platform. And we're joining on poetry, the word. Like, I've only one other podcast I've done that with, but that's who I am. Like, I am poetry. That's me. So I'm looking forward to this.
Appreciate that. And for me personally, I was intrigued to just the conversation because I think it's very important what you do. I'll put it like this. It starts with a saying I was reminded of a short while ago. It says, you want to change the world, you start with the children, So, and that speaks to me. And obviously, of course, the new generation, that's the only way to sort of better the old. Do you get what I mean? Or what's to come? In a sense.
I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Okay, let me extend that idea now.
Sure.
I hear you say you speak to the children, of course, because they're the ones carrying the baton on. I'm gonna quickly tell this story. Quickly. This man who wanted to change the world. This guy who wanted to change the world, he said, okay, he was a young dude, went out into the world. He says, I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna give it all I got with all my energy and whatnot. Grew up a little bit, met a nice lady, and then he's like, okay, you know what? Let me calm down on my energy. Maybe let me just change my country. And then he's like, okay, yeah, this feels, a good enough challenge. Had a few kids, became a family man. He's like, okay, let me just change it to my, my state, my little community here.
Yeah.
And then he was getting on in life. His kids were growing up, and he said, you know what? Let me just stick to my town. And then after a while, he didn't have this energy, the same energy. Had to be a grandparent showing up there, and he's like, let me change my family. But they had already moved out.
Yeah.
And then he eventually said, you know what? I maybe, if I had changed myself, that would have affected changing my wife. That would have affected changing my kids, my family, and then we would have affected our community. From our community, we would have went out to our town, our state, maybe even the country. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, we might have changed the world. And the thing is, what I wanted to mention to you is, yes, we speak to the next generation, but how do we speak to the next generation? It's maturity. At the final, for me, for human development is, I promise to take care of me, to be in service to you, Alex. If you promise to take care of you, to be in service to me. It is to be integrity as the man here, the woman here, the individual, understanding we're a part of the whole. And if we teach that to kids, young, because kids are selfish, right? Like, the whole world is about them. That's all they understand when they're dependent. But we're trying to bring them into independence and then interdependence.
Yeah.
And that's, it's so we speak to the next generation by being trustworthy, present adults ourselves. Like, you be strong to serve us, and I'll be strong to serve us. So that's what I was thinking.
Nah, I respect that, but I think I was more speaking on the macro level. You just
Yeah. I know.
Wait out into it.
You're all good, man.
I appreciate that, but I'm glad to be here. This is why I really wanted to speak to you, because I really want you to just kind of just, give your take and your expression, especially in certain things that is very specific to your experience, because I think it's so important to share, what you have to give and what you've been given, pertaining to your experience.
Cheers.
Let me just go through something quickly, and then just a little, and then we'll get back to the discussion. It says, genetics of the mind dictates that I'm fine. There is no such thing as a loss, for I have transcended the pessimistic inclines of the spine. Thus, an L is nothing but inverted esteem, a beckoning for the further mountains I've yet to climb. The earth drained as the leaves, arterial spillage in word form, in the absence of growthful seeds. The nectar of retreat is nothing but genius in deplete, wanting more for myself and the world, thus I'm destined to bleed.
Hey.
I thought this is apropos for the conversation we're gonna have, so homage to you, I thought I'd share something a bit more.
Frame it up. That's depth, man. Well received. These are well received, man. Thank you.
I appreciate that. The first thing I really wanted to kind of just you to share is you have it's called the Show Up Framework. Could you maybe speak on that and just speak to my audience and just elaborate on that?
Yeah. Before touching on that, I just wanted to say a line that came to mind that I wrote yesterday. It was based on the Carl Jung line that said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to be." That's what I was thinking of when I heard you say that.
Absolutely.
And then I wrote, your past adversities are not your future destinies. Rather, life is what you choose it to be.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. And I totally agree with that, by the way.
You put it in poetry, man. I heard it.
I totally agree with that.
The Show Up Framework. So I am a communication coach for parents of preteens, right? So I work with the parents, not necessarily the kids.
Yeah.
And whenever we're going through an identity breaking or a transition in life, that's where it's formative time of the question, who are you? That's when life asks, who are you? And during your adolescence or your early preteens, your early adolescence, your preteens, that's when you're having your first major identity breaking. And I think if we speak to this moment here, that could set them up for a whole different trajectory of life, right?
Yeah.
And how do we do that? It's just how we began the conversation of you show up, and in the framework there are 4 things. Before I even say the framework of what it's solving, what is the problem or the challenge that preteens are facing? I call it a wall of ice, an ice wall.
Yeah.
That is, they grew up dependent. As a kid, there's maternal energy saying, I love you, you're secure, you're close. It's bring them close. And then there's this expectation for them to be independent. So paternal energy, masculine energy, starts pushing them away. And it says, I love you, you're secure, you're safe, and you need to learn how to do it on your own, but you can still come back. But like, I'm teaching you how to do this, and that tension creates a holistic being.
Yeah.
Eventually, the final form is interdependence, but they have to learn how to be independent first. And in doing that, there's an identity breaking, I. You could go deeper later, but C is collaborative trust. They don't know who to trust. This person who was nurturing them, pulling them close so long, is now pushing them away or breaking apart, and they don't know how to deal with the breaking. All growth comes from everything that eventually grows must first break. Think of an egg, right?
Yeah.
However, If it breaks from the outside, it dies. If it breaks from the inside, life emerges. So life is continually emergent. You know, that's one of the laws of the universe. It's continually bubbling up from the inside. I see identity breaking, collaborative mistrust, and E is emotional mismanagement. Emotions, they tell us what we want, they tell us how we're moving towards those, they're informing us of our insides, they're informing us of other people's insides. This is the first time kids are doing this, so they don't know necessarily how to do this well. And they think, what's wrong with me? When it's actually, you just don't have the skills yet, or you need to be supported in doing it. So that's the challenges of preteens. The way to tell the preteens, as you said at the beginning, or the way we communicate with them is we show up, right? And when I say we, meaning Angela Duckworth says every kid just needs one psychologically wise adult in their life. And psychologically wise just means an adult who's able to walk with them through their thoughts. I mean, that's what therapy is. That's what counselors are. That's what good friends are. They walk with you through your thoughts. And that's why we need community. Now to show up, that's what you asked me, and it took a long time to get here, but all right.
No,
show up is... Yeah, go on.
I actually want to just give you the floor to really just do exactly what you're doing. So absolutely, man, continue.
You're all good, man. You're all good. Anything to touch on before we move on? Yeah.
Well, I have a few things, but did you have anything you wanted to mention?
Yeah. The show up framework. I still haven't said it. That was your first question.
Yeah, that's just continue because I'm listening.
We get it. Start with a strong identity. That's S. Start with a strong identity.
Yeah.
Social media has its pros and its cons. We could go on for days, but one thing that social media is doing to us, it's having us form our identity outside of ourselves. We're caught up in likes. We're caught up in outside ideas, other people's images. Because mind you, this is a natural order of things for us to turn away and seek independence of who am I?
Yeah. And
when we're finding it on screens, we're saying, am I this? Start with a strong identity from the inside out. And what I mean is virtues and values. Virtues are the 24 virtues that are with every human being, all religions, all cultures, everybody who lives. This is positive psychology. It's from ancient culture even to modern day science. These 24 virtues, and what a virtue is basically anything that works towards your well-being and towards the well-being of the collective.
Yes.
Different ones are creativity, leadership, gratitude, zest. And there are 5 that are expressed by every individual most. However, all of them are with you. All of them are with me, all of them are with you. And when I speak, I'm speaking to your virtues personally. I'm virtue spotting. I'm seeing how Alex is showing up. I'm like, oh yeah, I like this, I like that. The fact that you're holding and hosting a podcast means there's leadership there, you know, and I speak to those. Virtues and values. Values are what's important to you. Very simply, what's important to you. The word is important to me. The word is important to you because there's alignment. That's why we came together. Our identities are vibing with each other. Right, literally. So start with a strong identity. Because if you know who you are, you're going to be broken again, but you're going to be made stronger in the broken places.
Always find your way back.
Hey. All right, so start with a strong identity. 2 is H, hold space for collaboration. Kids, when they're going through their stressors or their wall of ice, they're wondering, what's wrong with me? Son, daughter, you're not a problem, rather you're going through growth and growing pains. So learning how to collaborate with them. Very simply, that looks like, instead of being at contention with them, seeing them as the problem and whatnot, say, hey, look, there are different communications in which we could do this, but it's called collaborative problem solving, or helping them supporting them to become more autonomous. Yeah. And you're actually turning with them to solve the problem and helping them and bringing them into the critical thinking the critical thinking process to
Yeah.
solve this problem, and saying, I'm here with you to solve this. I'm not against you.
Yeah.
SHO is open up communication. Kids want to shut down because they don't know who they can trust. Ideally, we're in communities where there are other trustworthy adults in our lives.
Yeah.
And that's who we turn to. Teachers, could be a coach, could be if you're in a faith community. As a parent, you still want to be present and giving opportunities for your child to open up, and then knowing how to manage those moments when they do open up. And that's what I do. I'm a communications coach. I studied communications for a long time, and I was a teacher, but I came out of the classroom, and this is how I help. So that's why I do what I do. SHOW is wonder and explore this world together. When you wonder and explore the world, it's using your virtues and values to create the world you want to live in. You are a creator and you're a collaborator. And it could be, like, again, Angela Duckworth, she says, we do hard things, but in doing those hard things, you're meeting it with your identity. And that's where the struggle is, the breakdown, but the build-up, the breakdown and the build-up. And then finally is, that's how you unveil your potential. That's up, unveil your potential. Now, as a parent, I work with you to help you do this with yourself, to be an influence on your kid, like to help you put your oxygen mask on first. Mr. Rogers said, if you want to help the kids, help the parents. And that's what I do. Boom.
That's
I said
amazing.
a lot, but yeah.
And that's a great line to finish with as well, because as we know, the saying goes, you can't save anybody before you save yourself. You know, the airplane situation, put your mask on before you help anybody else. You know, it's such a generic thing in this space and time that we live in now. I think we sort of kind of know or understand the protocol at which, you know, we're supposed to go pertaining to stuff like that. There was so many important things that you just spoke about, and I thank you for giving me your time to break this down, because I think this is very important to share with so many different people, my audience especially, but so many different people, I think, including the younger generation and just kids in general. I can really listen and take things from what you're saying. So I think it's important to get information like this out. But it also made me curious about you as a person, because as you said, it starts with a person, right? So I guess my next question would be, what's the driving force for what you're doing?
Hey. What's the why that makes me cry, right? So I'm a third culture kid. Have you heard that term before? Or
Not so much.
Cool. Yeah. Are you out of the UK right now?
I am, yeah. I am.
All right. And if you're out of the UK, assuming 2 generations above you, where was your family from?
My family's from the Caribbean, Jamaica.
Hey, West Winds, there you go. So I'm in the Bahamas right now, eh?
Okay.
Are you from Jamtown or where in the Caribbean?
Clarendon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Clarendon.
No, man. That's Clarendon. That's from Jamaica?
That's one of the parishes in Jamaica.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. And the reason I mention it is because my dad's from the Bahamas. That's where I am now. And actually, one of the housekeepers is Jamaican. I'm surrounded by Jamaicans. And then my mom's from the Philippines. But a third culture kid is when your passport doesn't necessarily match your identity or the culture you grew up in or your parents' identity. There's so many different ways to say it.
Okay,
so I grew up like that.
Yeah.
I grew up as a third culture kid. I studied communications in university. Straightway, I went to South Korea. I was a missionary English teacher, a sincere missionary. I'll say like this. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, if you heard about it.
Yeah.
But religion has never been a burden for me. However, while I was in South Korea, changed my worldviews in a sense, my understanding of the divine, my relationship. No animosity towards a church, but still recognizing greater powers and higher forces. And respect anybody on any journey they're on. Went out and taught in Saudi Arabia. Learned about Islam as a world religion. Was there for 2 years. Came back to Thailand, got my teaching degrees. Went out to Spain. Taught in Europe for a while. Came back to Thailand for 7 years. And then now I'm back in the Bahamas with my aging parents. And during that time, I was a high school English teacher and I was a language teacher. So human development is something I'm really interested in. And you see the intersection of all these places, of what it means to be, right? In all these different contexts, man. And this is a message that I feel I have for the world. I feel that strongly, yeah. And I'll say this is the last thing. That's my origin story.
Yes.
That dictates my mission, my vision, knowing what technology is coming, and following the trends of youth, knowing that the next global powers are going to be India and the continent. I know what I'm doing is just communication. It's a message, it's a vibration, which can reach India and Africa. I really do see this as a global message that's going to go on the back of technology and affect the lives of the next generation. Yeah.
I respect the ambition you have behind your actions. I think it's important. The next thing I was curious about is what's the vision behind your efforts? In other words, what is the ultimate goal that you're trying to accomplish?
Sure. All right, this is gonna get woo woo, but
very bad, man. Hey. This is poetry platform. Let's go.
So ancient philosophy, there's this place called the Delphi, and it was right there, and it said in a plaque, it said, "Know thyself." And people used to say, "Know thyself, and you'll understand the secrets of gods and men." As you understand yourself, and you understand your connection, wow, wasn't expecting that. You start to understand. You start to understand your connect with other people, and I believe you are experiencing life from a different perspective, right?
Absolutely.
And it also, this is an idea from Islam. It's called the inner jihad and the outer jihad. It just means the inner war, as you conquer this, the outer war will take care of itself. It's selfish and selfless at the same time, in that as I start experience other perspectives, other stories, other people, understanding what life is, and this is what I think life is doing. It's asking people, hey, who are you? What is all this about? Like, life is asking of you, what does this mean? Right? Like Viktor Frankl says, oftentimes we're asking, what is life about? When life is asking us, what is this about? I want you to be a creator and be creative and make your mark as a creator. I want to know myself, and the way I know myself is by giving space for other people to experience and express themselves. And the way I do that is through words. And there's a series of books, all my writing, my being, my essence, hits on these 4 things. SWAN, I call it. For everybody to know you're safe, you're worthy of being, you're able to achieve your goals as you pursue your well-being and the well-being of others, So that's SWA. N is all your needs will be met as you meet the needs of others. My vision is to create just my words, put my words, my vibrations out there.
Yeah.
That tell people you're safe, you're worthy, you're able to pursue your goals, and your needs will be met as you meet the needs of others. And then wait for the remix to come back. Wait for other people to tell me that too. Yeah.
And to the journey, because I always try to pay homage to the journey. How has the journey been for you so far?
You know, Langston Hughes, it ain't been no crystal stairs. It's been beautiful though. It's the reason I say it's beautiful is because if you can find gratitude and the fullness in this present moment, look back to the past, everything of the past has brought you to this moment.
Yeah.
And then if you hold a bigger vision than the present moment, this, whatever this is going to take you to that next. So the journey has been good. And when I say good, it's been up, it's been down, it's been life, you know, life has been life. And you meet people on the path, such as yourself, such as other podcasters, and it's just like you share your story. And you wish them all the best and you get on your way. But I could complain if I wanted to, but life is just, I'm too blessed to be stressed. And when I think on it, like, I just want to keep on. Yeah.
You know, I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier on, and it was something to do with, you know, when you're just living, but it's so much more colorful because it's something to do with your purpose. It's something to do with what you're certain this is what you're meant to do in life. And, you know, some people, you know, their purpose might be family oriented, where, you know, just taking care of, number one, having a 9 to 5 so I can take care of this family, grow my kids right. And that's their path in life. And I think, so what you're speaking about, and just being in the space that you are, it clearly, these are, for me, indications that you are in that space. And this is your purpose at which you're treading this road, you know, and so many sense of fulfillment just coming at you. And so you're in this great space. And perhaps, obviously that's for a reason, but you're preordained in a sense to always give back because you're getting so much.
I hear what you're saying, that last piece. If I could just give another perspective to it.
Absolutely.
I'm able to give back so much because I'm aware of what I'm being given. I think all of us are being given it. All of us. It's just that we don't bring our awareness to it, and that's what gratitude is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could I share a piece of identity? It's about, yeah.
Sure.
It's called I Am, and I wrote it when I was 16.
Sorry, I was gonna get to that, but yes, of course.
Yeah. No. Like, I'll follow your lead, man. This is your.
No. I've covered quite a lot, but I don't want to run out of time, so let's do it now.
All right. All things happen in the right time, but yeah, I am. This is what it says, because based on what you just said, I wrote this when I was 16, and I think this is what has kept me a long time, because even though the words are what they are, the meaning has changed for me.
Yes.
I am a messenger, sanctified to speak with a divine voice, and know it was not of my own choice, rather God's will be done, because I am part of a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation.
It's 18 hours.
Pardon me, that's
special person used to proclaim the praise of him who called me out of darkness into the marvelous light. You see, I am the might, and the Lord is my controller. So every time I step center stage, I'm representing for Jehovah with the Holy Spirit in the middle of my existence, reminding me I am blessed because of a gift that was heaven sent. See, I'm speaking of the Word, the Messiah, who provided me with a new way to write, a new way to love, a new way to live. So I love to give back my life, lyric, and pen, because he is the only one. He is why I'm breathing. He is why my life has so much meaning, and I am starting to see. This is the whole duty of man, to stand up and proclaim the praise of the one who claimed the highest name and told Moses, I am that I am. So of his love I will always write, and if you ask why, it's because I am. Made in his image, and although the race has fallen, he is risen. So still I rise with him as my guide, not ashamed of the gospel to say, Jesus walks by my side. So of his love I will always write. So Lord, let me remember my pen moves in vain if it's not used to praise your name. If ink is not guided by your hands, my stanzas are worthless. If the verse does not speak of you, if they do not speak of your truth, my sentences hold no significance. So Lord, that the meditations of my heart and the words of what I write be acceptable in thy sight, because in the end I am nothing without you in my life.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I could tell the place, it came from a deep place. And it's a combination of so many different things. I could tell that's all kind of come together, you know, into this one expression piece that you've created, man. And it meant a lot to you. So, and I thank you for sharing with us. And I could tell you tapped into something as well.
No, well, every time I say that piece, it's an identity piece. It's an affirmation. It's poetry. It's word, what I am. And then it's like, yeah, I gave you this so that you could touch others. And I speak those lines. I don't push religion on anybody. I do believe in higher forces and greater powers.
Yeah.
And I do speak to the divine and other people of the audience. And that's what I speak to. In that I have that identity that I'm speaking of me, Marcus, my individual.
Yes.
Like however that resonates with the audience on the other side of this, like that's what I'm talking to. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, but you know, just being who you are, I wouldn't imagine. I'm not surprised with what you're saying. Do you get what I mean? Just liberty in thought and just expression, and as much as yes, of course, you have a religious background, I still hear room for people to be free of interpretation and the way they think, you know, in your piece. So that's respectable for me, and I respect what you're saying, man. Yeah, like I said, I was peace.
I'll say like this. Yeah. I've said a lot. Thank you, Alex, for for being gracious and you're listening.
That's why we
appreciate that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man. I'll say this: there's no greater privilege than to be who you are. And when it is told, let them know it is a privilege to hear your story. So, yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm a big purveyor of, you know, sometimes people ask me, because, you know, I perform my work as well, and, you know, they ask me, oh man, yeah, what were you thinking? Are you nervous? This, that, and I'm just like, what are you thinking to be on stage? And me personally, I'm just like, no, I just looking to do me, you know. I just try to be myself. I'm not trying to be anything but myself. So I think if anybody is going to take anything from what we're saying, I think that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, that they should take from what we're speaking about. You know, it's all about being yourself, expressing from your own premise, the way you see life, the way you've experienced it, to be the person that you are, created the culture that you've cultivated for yourself. I think it's very important. Individualism. I don't know, my mouth. It's different.
You good, man? You good?
That's very important, I think, as a human being, and the experience of such. So, I really appreciate you sharing what you shared. It's a lot of information to digest, but I think it's so much. It's enriched with so many things that gems that people can take, you know, enrich their life and better their journey, like we're doing, and pertaining to their path, you know, because there's still people out there that's yet to discover where they're going in life, or what their purpose is, or what they want to be, you know. So these, I like to think of what I do as tools to help people along the way to be in, you know, what they want to be when they realize what they're supposed to be, you know, or what they want to be.
Yeah.
You know, but we haven't got much time, but it was great having you on. And as I said before, thank you for coming and sharing the space with me and performing your piece. I think it was powerful. I think it was necessary. And it was the icing on the top to all the things that we spoke about before, which is somewhat the foundation, because I think everybody can take something, because we're all trying to communicate. We're all trying to be our best selves. We're all trying to grow to another level of bettering our life and what we're about. So somewhat homage to the journey, you know. So it's a great space, man. It's a great space. So again, thank you for sharing the floor with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for setting this up and hosting it, man. It was felt well welcomed, and your words are well received. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And perhaps in the future, it'll be great to have you on again, and we have another conversation, because I'm sure we've yet to cover a lot of things anyway. So you know what, you're always welcome back, you know.
Cheers, man. Yeah, we'll stay connected.
Absolutely. All right, take care till next time.
All right, man. Peace.